Hi everyone, it's Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and it's day 3 of our December release, and I have a couple of cards to share with you today. Hi there. So I am using the new Cozy Vibes stamp set, which is adorable, the heart layer dies, and the random heart stencil. So what I did was I went ahead and I made my own stencil out of acetate. I cut it with that die from Jaded Blossom and applied it to an A2 sized card base made of paper tray ink white cardstock. So it's already pre-folded at 4.25 by 5.5 inches vertical fold. So now I'm taking a blender brush and I'm blending on Distress Oxide inks through that heart die. So I'm going to get a heart-shaped image on the front of my card base. And then now I'm using the random heart stencil to apply darker ink to the hearts. So now you'll get a heart shape with the pattern in it. And I really like how this turned out. Now, if you'll notice, look, you've got the little stitch lines around the heart. Now, they're not perfect in places, but I kind of like it. So, if you don't want that, you might want to tape those off when you make your stencil, but I think it looks kind of neat. Anyway, so here I am. I'm going to line up my stamp now using my Misty. And I'll be stamping with VersaFine Claire Nocturne ink. So I used that little grid from Simon Says Stamp. There's my ink. And I just want to see to make sure that it's where it's going to be when I stamp and if I like the look of it. So I think it looks pretty good. So I'm going to leave it as is. That's what I do a lot when I'm trying to test out where I want my sentiment to be on my card base. I realize that's going to be a little bit thick, so I just open the card up because that's really just a single layer card background, right? So there we are. I'm using my dry eraser just to apply some extra pressure, and I'm just going to stamp it twice just because it's a new stamp. And it just, when you're stamping new stamps, sometimes the ink beads up a little bit on the surface. There are my two images that I pre-colored with Copic markers. And I also used a Sakura white number 10 jelly roll pencil for some highlights. Those are all my Copics. I'm going to list them on my blog in case you want to color them the same way. And they are pre-cut out actually using my Brother Scan and Cut. And I'm also using the Milk and Cookies line from Doodlebug. They're the paper, the 6-inch pads, and also their odds and ends. So now I'm going to do some alterations to my little images. I'm cutting a little slit where the hot cocoa is using a pen blade and a healing mat, a Fisker's mat. And I'm going to slip in one of those odds and ends pieces. You can use these odds and ends pieces from Doodlebug, with your stamps, make whole scenes with them. They're really handy. So I decided to use these candy canes and put them in the mugs. So I'm just cutting a quick slit, and then I'll slip the candy cane in, and then I'll tape it using that purple tape, the washi tape on the back. It doesn't have to be, it's just holding it there for the meantime because I will be using pop dots or Stampin' Up! Dimensionals to stick it all down. So that will hold it in place, but I just want to stick it down as a unit. It just makes it easier for me. So now you'll notice that my Brother Scan and Cut did not cut out the handle insides. That happens sometimes, a lot of times. Usually it just cuts the outside. And I like to use a 0.4-inch border just because I like the look of that. And it's kind of handy. You can choose to do that with the Brother Scan and Cut. So there. So I cut out my handle because I kind of wanted to see through the handle on my layout. I just kind of like that look better. So I did it to both mugs. So now I'm making my design. And I'm just trying to get a grouping that looks pleasing to the eye, around the sort of sitting nestled into the sentiment there. And I kind of like the look of that. So I'm going to be applying that odds and ends piece. It's an acetate piece. So I'm just going to use some glossy accents. Now, glossy accents is clear, but, it does dry kind of with a halo, but it's kind of that gumdrop is kind of hidden, so I don't mind that. So now there's a piece of ribbon candy that I'm going to add. I'm using Gina K Connect glue to glue things down that are flat on the card base. And there we go. So I'm just kind of, like I said, making a little grouping that pleases the eye. And I kind of like how this turned out. It turned out super cute. So you see what I do here when I'm making a card. It's like, meh, I don't like that. I got to move that over. It's like, I still don't like that. I'm going to move it over a little bit more. This is what I always do. As I've always told you, I fart around when I'm making cards. So it takes me a while to get everything where I want it to be. And that's just the way I roll. I don't know what to tell you. It's my normal. What can I say? So there we are. So now I'm using my Stampin' Up! Dimensionals, and I'm going to pop up this little mug. And you'll notice I trim and I use the edges. I don't waste any of these little dimensionals. You can, use right to the corners. That's why I like them so much. I just think they're kind of handy. So I'm just applying my dimensionals to this mug. So this is an adorable set that we're showcasing today. Actually, there's two sets. There's one that's made kind of for tags, but you can use them on cards or whatever you'd like. And then one that's, larger images, made for cards or whatever you'd like. And I decided to go with the larger images and color them up. And they're super easy to color, super easy to use. I'm not sure if I said that I used my Ink on 3's blackout ink to stamp those images onto Nina Solar White 80-pound cardstock. That's my kind of preferable cardstock to color on. And there we go. And isn't that cute? I thought it turned out super cute. There we go. So we got him in place. And I also end up using the, what's it called? They're just called banner dies. So those are the heart dies. The two smaller ones are the heart dies from the banner die set. And then the larger one is from just the heart layer dies, or they're just called heart dies, the smallest one. So I cut paper out from the pad, and I use that. Now on the other one, I didn't show you popping up those hearts just because I kind of forgot. But I always like to apply them or put them on my card base kind of in sets of 3, sort of like when I'm putting glue dots or something on my card base. It just makes it more, gives it, I don't know, more interest, and I kind of like the look of that. So now I'm assembling this little snowman card base, and basically it's super easy because I can refer to my first one. And, I'll know that I get everything in the right spot. There we go. I've got my EK Success tweezers just so I can get my fingers out of the way. Makes things a little handier. There we go. And now I'm going to be popping up this snowman mug again, like I said before. So yeah, I'm loving this new Jaded Blossom release as always. Super cute stuff. And, you just can't go wrong with these little mugs. If you're a coffee drinker, this set's for you. Even if you're a hot chocolate drinker, I think it's adorable. So that's what I went with because I thought this will be a great Christmas card for next year for my stash, because I've already sent mine out. Like I said, I think I said it yesterday on my little video. So there we go. Tomorrow, actually, we're showcasing, I believe, the freebie with purchase. I'm not sure how long that will last, but it's a neat little item, and I'm still trying to think of how I'm going to use it for tomorrow's video. So I've just been brainstorming to decide how to go ahead and show it in its best light. So we'll see what I can come up with for tomorrow. I know the design team will rock it like they always do. So make sure to always swing by and check out what Jaded Blossom does with all the stamps and dies. That it's great to see a group of people and they use things in different ways, which is nice. And maybe you'll find someone that's, kind of more your style of designing, and, you'll get some inspiration from them. So here I'm showing you how I pop up these little heart dies. Nothing special. As I'm popping up one of them over the snowman, I have to, add one heart to one part, or like a one extra layer to one whole side of it, just so it will be flat. On the card front, if you know what I mean, because the snowman cup is already popped up with one layer. And the little heart kind of hangs off. You'll see I screw up though, like I always do. It's like, oh, darn it. I put 2 on the wrong side. So I got to fix it because that's my normal. I'm always screwing up little stuff like that. But, you can always go in and fix it. No one will know. There we go. So I'm quite loving, like I said, I'm loving these little mugs. They're just too darn cute. So there we are. I love these little heart dies from the heart layer dies, or from the banner dies, sorry. I use them all the time, you know, just as little accents on my cards. I just love them. So now that's my Spectrum Noir sparkle. I don't know if it's a marker or a pen, whatever you want to call it. And I'm just adding some sparkle to the little cherries on top of the cupcakes. And I add a little sparkle to the penguin's little heart. And there we go, making sure. And I do it on both of the cupcakes. There we are. And I'm going to add some to the candy cane too. Now, just beware, if you're going to apply that sparkle pen or glossy accents over, that white Jelly Roll pen highlights, it will just basically disintegrate it. So you want to add your highlights after the glossy accents have dried, or after your Spectrum Noir sparkle has dried. You can put it over top and it's fine, but if the sparkle or the glossy accents go over top, it just eats it away. So it's just, just keep that in mind. There we are. So now I'm going to pull out the glossy accents again. And I'm going to add glossy accents to the cherry on both of the cupcakes. And I just want to, it gives it a little bit of dimension, not really dimension, but some interest, you know. When you have a simple card, you kind of want to oomph up the things that you can oomph up, if you know what I mean. Now I'm just bringing in my little wood skewer that I kind of pull out my glossy accents with to the edge and, clean up any boo-boos with. There we go. But I'm loving how this turned out. It's just, it's a simple design, but, it's cute. Now you'll notice my Copic coloring is pretty, simple and straightforward. For most colors, I used 3. And like I said, all the Copic markers will be listed on my blog in case you want to color things the way that I did. Not that I'm a professional by any means. I'm certainly not. But, I do my best. What can I say? So there we are. So I'm liking all that. And of course, I can't help myself. So I'm bringing in my Nuvo glitter drops in White Blizzard. So it dries clear but sparkly. And I'm just going to add little dabs to all the little jimmies that are on top of or sprinkles or whatever you want to call them, that are on top of the cupcakes. And, I'm fixing that one up. I got my little skewer out. And I will do the same to both cards. Add those little glittery droplets. I just scoop some off my test sheet to apply to the one that's partially covered by the cup. Now, if I was thinking, I probably would have applied these little embellishments to these little odds and ends first and let them dry and then apply them to my card. That would have been smart. But, hindsight's 20/20, right? And at the time, I really didn't know what I was putting on the card. So that's another thing. I kind of make up my mind as I go. And there we are. So now, of course, I think about it some more because, I can never leave well enough alone. I'm thinking, what is this card missing? What should this card have? Both these cards are missing something. I know you're probably going to guess what I'm going to do. See, I'm just showing you if you can see the sparkle. Yep. Nuvo Crystal Drops in Simply White. I'm going to add some in a pleasing amount. The nice thing about them is that they add a little bit of texture without making things too busy because it's on white. So it's white on white and it doesn't draw your eye too much. So, like I said, a little bit of interest and texture, and that's about it. So anyways, like I said, thank you so much for stopping by. Make sure you hop on over to the Jaded Blossom blog and see what all the design team members have come up with. Amazing designs as always. And be sure to pop on by tomorrow and check out what we've got for you tomorrow. Thank you so much, everyone. We'll see you soon. Bye.